Very good afternoon, sir. Welcome to at Galgotias University.
Thank you, Arav. Yeah.
Sir, can we start it with a brief introduction about you?
So, I am Professor R.K. Singh. I am Professor and Head Department of Electrical Engineering at IIT BHU. My area of research belongs to power electronics. So, my research group currently is working on the high frequency, high power density power processors for electric vehicle applications, for battery charging applications, microgrid, power quality, and what we do feel about power electronics that it is an era of power electronics. So if you look around yourself, you'll find that power electronics is all over. Without having integration of power electronics, it's almost impossible to develop anything related to hardware when it comes to electrical engineering, computer science, and electronics engineering. So it's a very powerful area, and we have got a decent size of 30 students, in which almost 10 to 12 PhD students are there, master's students, and dual degree students who are working for the cutting edge technology. And our whole objective is how we can contribute with the technology development to the growth of the country.
Sir, I believe it's a very vast word, power electronics. Can we break it down into a simpler term?
Up to certain extent, I do agree with you that it is vast, but it is narrow as well. So let me define why it is vast and how we can narrow it down. So power electronics meaning is it is an amalgamation of electrical engineering and electronics engineering, right? So in that way, when it is amalgamating two of the engineering branches, it definitely becomes vast. But when you further unlayer the things and go deeper and take a deeper dive into it, then you find that it's not as vast as it appears to be, because you have to learn quite a few things, and if you are confident enough in understanding quite a few things, you can say that you know power electronics. So if you are having an understanding of the switches and passive components, how power supplies behave, input behave, and what are the load requirement, you can say that you have learned power electronics. So in a way, it is just, if you ask me to define power electronics, it is nothing but how you process your input power based on the requirement of a load, and not only process, it can give you a stable operation as well. So that's the only task basically power electronics performs. Let me give you an example. So let's say you need to run this television screen, right? Then you are taking supply from a utility grid that is coming, and if it is single phase 230 volt 50 hertz supply, now you need to process that 230 volt 50 hertz supply to the requirement that is there for this running of this digital screen. So that role basically is performed by power electronics. And power electronics is nothing but, as I said, there is a combination of passive components, switches, and supply and load.
Yeah. Right, sir. Recently, I and my batchmate was talking about the credibility an IEEE student get after they'll be joining this community, this society. But I want to know from your end, if a student is looking out to join a IEEE community club in their college, what will be the benefits and credibility that particular students will be getting in comparison of other societies and clubs?
So let me define IEEE in my own terms, right? Being a person who is working in the area of electrical engineering, IEEE is the apex society that basically upholds the quality all across the world, right? Irrespective of in which area or in which thrust domain it is working on. And it maintains a very high standards. So, coming on to your point of credibility of joining one student, this IEEE society. So it actually teaches you a lot. Not only students, even we professors also learn a lot from IEEE. Because it motivates us to do quality work. It motivates us to be disciplined in our performance. It motivates us to be mature and do cutting edge technology development that basically is required for the society, for the welfare of the country. So in that way, if anyone, irrespective of whether he is a student or a professional, is joining IEEE, IEEE is a great learning platform that basically gives a lot of motivation to define your own traits. And if you look at the entire structure with which IEEE is functioning, you will observe that each and every section, each and every region, each and every chapter, whether it is a professional or a student, is designed to perform a quality task.
Okay.
And
Quality
specifically, let me finish my thing. Specifically, if you say that if you are a student, if you are imbibed with the thought of maintaining a quality right from your early days, you eventually become a very good professional in your life.
Definitely. Sir, how did you get introduced to IEEE in a very brief way?
Yeah, so yes, frankly speaking, I was aware of IEEE, of course, right from my beginning. I did my bachelor's way back in 2001 and then master's in 2003. So I was aware about the activities of IEEE right from my undergraduate time. But frankly speaking, and in my candid opinion and honest, submission, I would say that I, genuinely got to know about IEEE when I started off my research in IIT Kanpur. Then I learnt about the power, the mandate, the objective and mission and vision of IEEE, and I was frankly mesmerized with the way everything is being handled, everything is being carried out under this umbrella. So, and I started off my research journey, in 2009. So to say, I mean, so you can say that in somewhere around 2008. So those were the days, when I, actually got to know about IEEE and its merits and everything. Yeah.
Sir, what's the one thing which is making IEEE a superb initiative?
Top talent working for it.
As in?
Top talent working for it as a student, as a professional. Whoever, if best of the best brains all across the world working in the area of electrical engineering, computer science and electronics engineering, they are either volunteering or doing some services to the IEEE. And if you are associate, your best of the best brains starts working for you, undoubtedly there is no match for
Sir,
that
which
thing.
type of culture IEEE is providing, that environment which is like consistently motivating individuals, professionals, students to work for it, to improve for it?
Uncompromising attitude for the quality. If you, let's say want to publish a paper in a best IEEE conference, it would not be easy for anyone or someone to get through even one paper if you are not maintaining the quality of that paper. And that basically is the key. That basically is the main motivator or enabler by which you can say the IEEE has become so big, or so that the brand name has gotten so big, right? As I said, so even top class conference publication is not that easy, because that would be reviewed by the best of the best brains working in that area all across the world. And if you further move on and try to publish a paper in a journal or a transaction, right, the things starts getting tougher and tougher. So it has to be perfectly, matured enough, proposal if you want to really publish it in IEEE. So quality is the key, and best of the best brains are working for IEEE all across the world. I'm not talking about one country or other. If you walk through all across the, cross country, functioning of the IEEE, you look at, you will observe that, whoever is doing serious research or technology development, they are somehow by some means are associated with IEEE.
Okay, all right. Sir, I want to know from you about the hierarchy models which IEEE committee is having right now.
Yeah, hierarchy is, under the central umbrella, they have different, societies. So I'll tell you some of the examples of electrical engineering society. So in electrical engineering, we have got Power Electronics Society, we have got Industry Application Society, we have got Industrial Electronics Society, right? So these societies are there. So under these societies, they have got their individual presidents who are working for it. Then the entire thing has been divided into different regions, right? Like we fall in region 10, R10. Asia and other some of the things are actually falling under that region. So that R10 basically has an complete administrative structure.
Getting you.
In a way, what I can say that IEEE works in a very federated structure. You have got a top, notch sitting on as an IEEE president, and under that a tree structure is there, society presidents are there, then the chapters are there, the chapter chairs are there, then co-conveners are there, the volunteers are there. So that's how it has gone deep into the last mile of the last corner of the tech development, or not only the tech development, the societal development. So you've got women society, you have got social awareness thing, all those things. So all these things are, beautifully diversified all across.
Sir, is it the first time visiting at Galgotia?
No, I have visited many times, and I admire the infrastructure of Galgotias. Not only infrastructure, I have a lot of appreciation for the students of Galgotias University. So I do believe that the private universities have got in a lot of role in a tech development, because you cannot only depend upon the IITs or NITs or triple ITs, right? Because you have to India being such a big country, you should look beyond these institutions and build a very strong educational infrastructure. And if you are to build a strong educational infrastructure, you have to be very careful. And in these private universities basically have got a lot of role. So, Galgotias are doing very good, and I have been, I've visited this campus before as well. Yeah.
So great answers. Sir, lastly, I want to ask you, recently you were introduced to G-Scale of Galgotias, I believe, over there. So I want to ask you, right now Galgotias took an initiative of transforming their classrooms into a round table chairs, where there's a new initiative of G-Scales. Infrastructure mein, as compared to IITs and other top class institutes, how do you think it can be a comparable model or not?
In fact, I would say that, as far as the infrastructure is there, Galgotias have a better infrastructure as compared to some of the recently developed IITs.
Oh, nice.
No doubt about that. But, education is not all about infrastructure.
True.
It's also about, how are you imparting your knowledge, and we have to be very careful in disseminating our knowledge to the student body.
True, sir.
And there, the depth of the understanding of the faculty members becomes very important. So having a classroom, round table classroom, good audio-visual facility, very good displays all across, is going to be definitely be helpful.
These are the secondary terms?
No, not secondary. I will not actually, categorize it primary or secondary. I will make it in parallel. They help, but at the same time, the concept becomes very important. So in that sense, teacher has to, generate interest from the student by the way they are, imparting or taking their classes.
Right.
So, because I always felt, I have developed a power electronics laboratory at IIT BHU. Right, after completing my PhD, and now I'm very happy to inform that our power electronics laboratory is perhaps doing one of the best in the country, right, in terms of the quantified outputs. So what I do always feel that role of a teacher is like a controller, and students are variable. So if a controller is good, variable will all follow the controller.
Exactly.
So we as a teacher should actually always act like a controller. And so eventually the point I would like to bring out here is that the depth of the discussion
should be mature.
Also, or in a way, is more important than only having a good infrastructure. Of course, Galgotias have got very good infrastructure, but at the same time, I do believe, and I am very hopeful that they are maintaining a high standards as far as the teaching learning modules are concerned.
Yeah, sir. Summarizing, you mean to say that these infras, these classrooms can provide you a great environment to study, but the core part would be the faculty segment only, no?
Obviously, see, let's say if you have got a motivation to do meditation, let me give you an example. Okay, you will find out a place where a very serene and calm environment is there. You don't want to be in a noisy place, right? You don't want to be surrounded by too many people so that you can be distracted by the happenings of the surroundings. So you will go and sit at a place where everything is very serene, no disturbances are there. But the meditation will have to come within you, right? Then only you can actually connect yourself with that thing.
Exactly.
So my point of having a very good infrastructure is like sitting in a very calm and serene environment. But unless you start doing meditation by your own or know the process of the meditation, the purpose is not going to be solved. So, okay, these definitely infrastructures are going to be very helpful, no doubt about that. There is no replacement of it as well. But at the same time, the depth of the discussion is of paramount importance, right? Unless you have got the depth of the understanding and trying to, discuss right from the scratch, why this thing at all is required. So that kind of discussion in the classroom actually generates a lot of interest because I have also teaching for the last more than 22-23 years, and I have seen if you start taking the things in such a way, you can generate a lot of interest from the students also, and then they can come up with a beautiful ideas, basically from which even a teacher can learn a lot.
Sir, what are your upcoming plans
Regarding
your future? Like, what will we gonna do after this?
Yeah, so plan is very simple. I'm a professor, I'm a researcher, so I want to do something meaningful for my country. And if you are a professor, you have got a lot of role, not only the tech development. In fact, in teaching, you have got the teaching administration as well. So you can do service in different ways. One way is to develop technologies, motivate good students, and train them to do fantastic things in the world. That's what I am doing. Now I have moved into my middle level of my professional career. So administratively also I am trying to motivate some of the my peers and community so that they can also do justice to their job. And I can also I wish to contribute. I don't know whether I'll get a chance or not, but I wish to contribute in the policy making of the education as well. So that things can be more can be made more approachable and conducive, right, for the entire education system. So I mean, these are the motivation, and the only motivation is to take India forward. That's it.
Nice, sir. Great initiative. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Araf. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thanks a lot.